you're the host, if you wouldn't mind muting people as they come on in case they don't mute themselves, that would be great. If everyone can mute themselves now, that would be awesome. And we'll get started. So hello, everyone. My name is Noel Schroeder, and I'm a sales coordinator with the Juice Plus Company. I have been on this mission with the Juice Plus Company for 4 years now, and it's one of the best decisions I ever made. I guess the other best decision really came because I joined the Juice Plus Company, which is to get together with my partner, Eric, who was introduced to me through Kelly and Kevin Farrar in the Juice Plus Company. So there you go. And that's part of my story I'll share a little bit later. But this is just a fun event that we do about every month or so. And we bring people together from the Juice Plus Company who are on the same mission with me. And Kelly and I host it, and we invite these amazing people on to share their stories about the impact that this mission has had on their lives. Not just taking the Juice Plus products, but deciding to join the mission and share Juice Plus with others. And so we hope that you are inspired this evening and that you just can sit back and enjoy and get some positive, uplifting energy for about a half an hour with us, and just hang out with us and let's have some fun. So if you wouldn't mind muting yourself out if you aren't already, thank you so much, and we'll get started. So meant for more is about recognizing that we were meant for more. And sometimes we know that early on in our lives, and sometimes we forget, or we never know it until something happens to us as an adult. We realize there's more that we want, and that we should go for it because we deserve having whatever it is that we want. So we're going to start tonight's stories with Julie Peterson. She is from Southern New Hampshire, like Kelly and I are, and not too far from us. So Julie, I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. Thank you, Noel. I appreciate that. I'm very honored that you guys asked me to speak tonight. So I am Julie, and I am married to Jeremy for 21 years. And we've got 2 kids. We have Jenna, who's a second-year college student at UNH, and Jaden is our son. He's 15 and in high school. When I first heard about Juice Plus, it was from our chiropractor in Dallas. And our family was so sick. It was just unreal. And he just simply said, how many fruits and vegetables do you eat on a daily basis? And I said, pretty much next to none. And he told me to find Juice Plus. So I went online, found me a friend, and I just asked her to come and share it with me. And I start here because this is where it really, my journey really begins. So my family was so desperate for health that I was willing to try anything. My son and I both have autoimmune diseases, and we were always on medication. And I just knew that that wasn't the answer for our health. So I learned about Juice Plus, and I learned how it would help our family. But then all I could think about is, how is this going to hit our finances? I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years at that point. And my husband and I were in a place where we were really feeling the crunch in our finances. And to the point where I was willing to give up being a stay-at-home mom and go get a job. I didn't want to do that. My husband didn't want me to do that, but it really seemed like that was the only answer at the time. So we were praying about that. And as our medical bills were increasing and the cost of living in the Dallas area was increasing, we just knew we didn't really have any other option. So all I could think about was the price of what this was going to cost us. So Erin was sharing that with me, and I felt this, the only way I can explain it is this spiritual nudge to ask about the business. I'm a pastor's wife, and I had always swore I would never sell anything. In the church, you have all kinds of businesses come your way. I guess everywhere in life. I just spend a lot of my life in the church. And I just didn't want to be a salesperson. I didn't want to be seen that way. I had a lot of really bad misconceptions of network marketing, I think. But I swore I would never sell anything. So I went ahead with this nudge, and I asked Erin about the business. And she started crying. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know her. So, we had a mutual friend that introduced us. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And she said, well, just so you know, I've been praying for a new business partner, and I really feel like you're the answer to my prayers. So I was like, okay, well, I've been praying for something, so maybe this is it. I jumped in with all fours. My family started taking Juice Plus, and I bought my own franchise. I mean, it's $50 a year. How could I turn that down? When I learned about the business and how I didn't have to keep inventory, I didn't have to do deliveries, I didn't have to do parties, I didn't have to do all that stuff. All I had to do was share my heart for healthy living. It was a no-brainer. And it wasn't long before my business started growing. I simply was sharing good health, a healthy lifestyle, and Juice Plus with my friends and family. I was reaching bonuses that were paying off bills. It didn't take long before my husband and I realized, it took us a little bit of time because, we're not all that smart, but God showed us, he gifted us this business so that I could continue being a stay-at-home mom. I stayed home for 17 years, got my daughter off to college. This business has afforded us to be able to do a lot of extra things. And now I'm almost paying our mortgage with my business. And I don't intend to stop here. It's just, the sky's the limit. And I love the opportunities that this business gives us to meet new people, to network with people. I mean, the community that I get to do life with is amazing. And they're so much fun. In just a couple months, I get to go and now take my daughter. This is like highlight for me, is that my daughter has joined my team. So we get to do this business together. When I started 7 years ago, she sat next to me and did a health talk with me, just from a child's standpoint of what healthy living looks like, while I got to teach parents how to live a healthy lifestyle. So I love that she's joined me full time now, and that we get to do this together. And now she's sharing healthy living with her college friends and families as well. So we are really blessed that God gifted us this job that I didn't ever think I would do, and just the blessings that he's poured on us since then. So thanks for your time, and I hope that this is an encouragement to you.
Thank you, Julie, so much for sharing. I love that story. I did not realize you were a pastor's wife, so that's a whole other part of you that I didn't know about. So that's great. It's just perfect. So we're going to move to Katie Urey, who's from Maine. And I was just up in Katie's neighborhood, and I didn't get a chance to see her because it was such a quick turnaround. But I just love Katie, and I love the area that she lives in, and visiting it whenever we can. So Katie, take it away.
Thank you, Noel. I am very lucky. I get to live in the Camden Rockport area of Maine, and it is stunning. I learned about the Juice Plus business from my sister Megan, who is on this call, almost 10 years ago. And I will tell you that I loved the products for the change that they made in my family's health. My son really battled with pretty severe asthma, and they made a huge impact. And they made an impact on my health. What I didn't get, and I wish I had gotten sooner, was the opportunity that this business is for my family. So when I learned about the products, I had already left my teaching job. And I will tell you that when I talk about teaching, I get teary because I love it so much. I love kids. I love schools. Like, I feel like when I step into those buildings, like my skin tingles. It's just a place that I love to be. But my son was diagnosed with some severe separation anxiety, and I basically got the news from the neonatal psychologist, like, if you can be home with him, that's what you need. That's what he needs. And as a mom, you want to do what your kids need most in the world, right? And so that was the decision that I made. And his health struggles sort of, continued from there. And so he was 4 when I learned about Juice Plus. And as I thought about this call tonight and what I wanted to share, something struck me that was a little, now in hindsight, funny. I was around the same time opening our mortgage, and I was a stay-at-home mom, pregnant with my 3rd kid, and our mortgage and our healthcare bill were almost the same. Our healthcare bill was a little more than our mortgage. It was outrageous. And I remembered at that time, for some reason, that when I was in my 20s and traveling and doing all of that, I worked at Starbucks for 20 hours a week because I could get healthcare through them. And I called my husband and was like, I'm going back to work at Starbucks. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? And I was like, no, it makes sense. Like, I can squeeze in those hours in the time, and then we can get healthcare. And anyway, this struck me because I'm not lying to you. I did. I went back to work at Starbucks as a full-grown adult with 3 kids because I wanted the healthcare. And I didn't realize that if I put those 20 hours a week into this amazing Juice Plus product at that point in time, what I could have built in that time. So obviously that's what I'm doing now. Though I saw the light, but it was just this idea that I could spend that time putting in hours at somebody else's establishment, no matter what it was, to get a paycheck, to pay the bills. But I wouldn't really be, I was serving people these giant frappuccinos, like heart attacks in a cup. I'm not making the world a better place with that. And it didn't mesh with my love of kids and all of that. And so when I learned more about this company and who they are in the world, their giant heart for making the world a better place. And I don't know if you know already about their Healthy Starts for Families program, but every adult order can sponsor a child for free. Like, for me, that's just, confetti and rainbows. Like, that's amazing. And so I started putting that time into sharing Juice Plus with people. And I get now to work with my sister, and I'm looking at the faces on this call tonight, people who are amazing friends at this point in my life, who I never would have known otherwise, which is such a joy. And my sister and I both have this idea with this business that we share, that we are part-time on purpose, because the other piece of this business is that we do get to do it on our time, in our own way, because, and that's where this sort of came in for the call tonight. I feel like that meant for more is not just me, not that I am personally meant for more, but this life that we have is meant for more. That so often we're just stuck in these ruts of, like, we get up and we go to work and we shuffle the kids around and we find something to put on the table for dinner, and we fall into bed and go, and it just starts all over again. And so when I think about meant for more, I think about what Noel was saying about this place that I get to live, and every day I get to go out and enjoy the ocean and the lake and the mountains and this beauty that's all around me, while, and I know this is tough. It's the beginning of the school year. A lot of my teacher friends are just like, oh my God, here we go again. And they're going to be in the classroom all day long, and they're going to be grading papers. And instead of that, I have this time freedom where I get to volunteer in my kids' classes. I'm the mom that can go on the field trips. And for me, feeling that, I talked about at the beginning that I just love being with kids and that tingle. I also, because this Juice Plus business is part-time, I get to follow that passion that I had. And so much of what you learn through this company is personal growth and development. And so I have also been able to design an after-school program that teaches kids about personal growth and development. And I feel like I get to do so much more with my life. than I could have done if I were confined to a school calendar, if I had my own classroom, if I'm serving people grandes and ventis at Starbucks. Like, I am creating a life, and this company is the vehicle for that. I am helping families get healthy. I am helping friends create, amazing careers and lifestyles for their family. And it kind of gives me goosebumps. Like, the healthcare that I don't need to go to Starbucks for that. I've got Juice Plus Company, whose business model is amazing. So I just wanted to share that the Meant for More, think about, what are you doing with your life and how are you spending your time? And is there a way that you could go about this differently? Because I feel so grateful that that I did learn about this company and was willing to say yes, and that I get the opportunity to work with these women and live a life that, to me, just feels so much more fulfilling than I ever would have dreamed. And so if you have the opportunity to talk with the person who invited you, find out more. We have an amazing thing here.
Wow, Katie, you have me crying, and now I wish I had seen you for a minute in Camden to give you a hug while we were there.
Come again.
Oh, we will. We'll be up soon.
Yay.
Thank you, Katie. That was amazing. I can relate to not only your classroom story, but your Starbucks story. So I have one of those too. I never actually did work there, but I did consider it.
I will say, that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
We'll talk when you come to visit.
Okay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
no.
Yeah, I would say this is way better. Okay. So next is Andy Kennedy. And Andy is coming to us from Colorado. Andy, take it away.
Thanks, Noel. I am, yes, as she said, I'm in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. My name is Andy Kennedy. And where I was when the Juice Plus business found me, I was a marketing director for a sustainability nonprofit in Steamboat Springs, an environmental focused nonprofit, and I was burning out. If I wasn't burned out already at that point. I was often tired. I worked long hours. I was often sick, which of course, Juice Plus played into as well. I was bored, and I would say I was even kind of lonely. My friend group had shrunk down because I poured everything that I had into the nonprofit. But one of the worst pieces of that is that I was broke. I had all of this passion for what we were doing, but I really didn't have any income from it, other than just paying our bills. And so my husband also worked for a nonprofit, and previously, before we both worked for these two nonprofits, we owned our own business. I had actually another side business to that, and we loved being our own boss. And it was a travel business for people with disabilities. My husband is a T12 paraplegic athlete and avid skier, and so we loved to travel together. So when Lori, my upline Lori Egner, shared this business opportunity with me, we were hiking one day in the woods, and I was looking for something else. I was kind of at rock bottom, lost, searching, whatever, and kind of sad even. And I said, I was looking for some other kind of marketing position, but I knew it would suck the soul out of me to work for something corporate or whatever. And I was never somebody that liked to punch a time clock. I'm very freedom. Freedom's like one of my core values. So to give all of that up, even I thought working for a nonprofit was freedom. And she said, this is marketing. And that was a really big shift for me to realize. I didn't know really much about network marketing. I didn't know what she meant by that this is marketing and that I could use those skills. But if I had thought back at that point, 20 years prior to where I was when I graduated college and what I wanted for my life, I was inspired and passionate, and I was traveling all of the time. And I did believe that I had freedom back then. And I feel like I had lost that version of myself. I wanted bigger things for myself. So just like the title of this talk, Meant for More, I always had thought that I was meant for something bigger wanted to make a bigger impact and thought working at a nonprofit would provide that, but it didn't. And so I jumped in feet first to both product and business. And really now, that was 5 years ago. Now, 5 years later, and if I can reflect back on what this business really provides me, first and foremost, it's community. I believe that plants heal. I believe that God gives us everything that we need on this planet, and we need to be good stewards of this planet. And I believe that we've been given the tools. We just need to use them better. And so, for me to be surrounded by a whole bunch of people that think the same way, that want to do right by their community and want to help the next generation be healthier than ours, it's fulfilling to me in a way that the nonprofit never was. To have this much community and to have all of these people supporting me and sidelining with me like we are on this call, to really fulfill the same mission. The second is simplicity. So when I was a business owner and when I was a nonprofit director, I felt like I had to do everything. I was the photographer and the web designer and the flyer builder and the fulfillment person when we were shipping out things from our business, or filling the pipeline or whatever. I don't feel like I have to do that anymore. We don't have any overhead. We don't have rent. We don't have anything like that. And so I love the simplicity of this business, because I have a lot to compare it to. And really, I decided that as soon as my paycheck at Juice Plus matched my paycheck at the nonprofit, that I would walk away. And that was over 2 years ago. So I've been able to fully dive into this business, and really the time freedom that it has given me and my husband, because he does it with me now. I'm at home right now. I'm not in Colorado. I'm in Northern Virginia, where I'm from, helping my parents move to the next phase of their life. And I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to, come here and take off 2 weeks to come here and help my parents move. So that's a big piece too, is that time freedom. But the last big thing is the philanthropy. As working as at a nonprofit, I felt that I was giving back, but I never felt that I was giving back. I was blood and sweat and tears and time and all of that. I was aligned with a mission, but I never felt like I had choices. And that's a big piece of what Juice Plus has given me, is our choices, not only to travel and to feel that time freedom, but to give back. The company gives back so much, but then now we get to choose. So when someone sends me a GoFundMe, I'm not broke, like I was when we were at the nonprofit. I can choose. I can say, yeah, I'd love to send this person $50 or $100 to help with whatever they need help with. Or, maybe it's a political party that I want to give to because I want to affect change that way, or whatever. So philanthropy is a big thing for me too. And I think that's been one of those top 3 things for me, but all 3 of them lead back to freedom. Freedom to make the choices, freedom to travel, freedom to do, the pieces of this business that I love, and not have to do the pieces of this business that I didn't love doing. So I'm so grateful for one of my best friends, Lori, for sharing this with me, and grateful for all of you sideline buddies that, get to do this with us and share this mission with us. And it's powerful. So that's what Juice Plus has brought for me.
Well, thank you, Andy. And I loved getting to know you and Craig last summer at leadership school and at corporate headquarters in Tennessee. And can't wait to see you again, hopefully at the next conference in the fall. And love your story. I can relate to so much of it. And yeah, freedom is the number one for me as well. And it's, I think we all crave it on some level, and we get so many different layers of freedom in this business. So thank you for sharing that. And next we're going to go to Andrea LaPlante, who is down in Massachusetts. Andrea, go ahead and take it away.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Hi everybody. First I want to say thank you for having me on this call. I'm really honored to be here and share my story tonight. I live in Plainville, Massachusetts, and I just feel so connected to all of you that we are part of such an amazing community. I am a certified health coach with the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute, but I am also a national marketing director with this company. And I'll start by saying I found Juice Plus, or Juice Plus found me 8 years ago when I walked into my gym and I saw a brochure for fruits and vegetables and capsules and chews. I was blown away and so excited, but I felt really angry at the same time that I hadn't heard about it before I had my kids. At the time I found out about Juice Plus, I have 3 children. And the reason why it made so much sense to me is my son actually overdosed on isolated vitamin supplements. And it was a huge wake up call for me. And thought I was doing right by my family, listening to the pediatrician recommending vitamins, even though it didn't really make sense and I never ate isolated vitamins. I thought I'd be doing the right thing listening to my pediatrician. So fast forward, I just really was angry. I was looking for answers. I'm really lucky because my son's okay, but other kids not so lucky. And I started learning that there have been some fatalities with vitamin overdoses. So I really went rogue and started looking for answers. And I felt like there was a lot of confusion out in the world about what is health, what is healthy. A lot of people eating things off shelves that may not necessarily be the best thing for them. And who do I turn to? Who has the answers? I was so confused. My pediatrician gave me some advice, didn't work so well. That was the moment where I realized that I needed to be my own health advocate. So when I found Juice Plus, it was the answer to my prayers. I really thought there was a camera behind me looking at me as I said, "Is this for real? Why haven't I heard about this? Where is this? Where's this person? I need this right now. I want this in my family. I want all of it." But the behind the scenes story is I had a career with Fox Sports Net. I worked in communications and was the affiliate relations manager at this career that I had climbed up the ladder. And I got to a point where I did climb the ladder. I enjoyed what I did, but there was a ladder, there was a glass ceiling, and I certainly wasn't going to end up being the CEO. Not only that is there was a big commute involved, and I spent a lot of time in my car driving to and from and a lot of traffic, and then decided to have our family. And at the time, my husband and I's salaries were equal, and then he ended up getting a promotion. So we said I would stay home with the kids. At that point, he started traveling, and he's been traveling for 25 years. So anybody that's a single mom or has a traveling spouse, it's very difficult to try and be mom and dad all the time and get all the needs met for your family. But it was what I wanted to do, is be home for my kids. And then once I had them, I didn't want to leave them and go back to corporate, even though it was very fulfilling for me to climb that ladder and feel really successful in what I did. I didn't want to go back to it anymore because it didn't matter to me. I really wanted to do something that was meant for more. I connected on a level as a mom that I know I really wanted to give back in a bigger way. And I wanted to be home for my family. And part of my story is that I was this successful woman who had my own financial independence, got married, had children, stayed home with them, and no longer had my own financial independence. And that was really difficult for me to not be able to make those choices. And we talk a lot about choices. Well, things happen in life. There are 4 Ds: death, disease, disaster, and divorce. And those things are something to consider when living life and trying to figure out whether you're going to have a career, a plan A, a plan B. And I was really thinking about going back to work because I needed income to provide. My kids are all athletes, and my daughter started riding horses, and she had this fulfillment of an equestrian career that she wanted. And she was not this normal child that was just a hobby. It was something she was going to take all the way. And I thought, well, I want to support her, but I wasn't bringing in any income at the time. When I found Juice Plus, I started sharing it with everyone I know because it just made sense. And I knew people deserved to know about it. What I didn't know was the network marketing business, what it was. And I didn't know how that it even existed. So I went and talked to my colleague and said, is there any way that I could earn income sharing this? Because I will do this regardless of if I get paid. I would share this with everyone around the globe, whether there was a business attached or not. I'm just curious if there's a way for me to earn some income. So she said, yes, we met, signed the dotted line, and I never looked back. And what I will say is this business has provided me the ability to strive again and show my kids that I had a job, that I worked for something which they knew I did, but they never saw me. So here I am running this business, and they would come in from school and say, "Hey, Mom, did you hit your next year goal?" And I would say, "Yes, I did." And we'd high five, and they saw me speak. They saw me give presentations. They came with me to events. They cleaned the kitchen for me when my husband was traveling and asked me, "Did you help anyone get healthy today?" And there are so many aspects of this business that are great. And one of the most important is that my children saw me grow something that meant something. I didn't just get in the car and go to work and have a commute and earn income. I'm doing something that makes an impact around the world. 75% of chronic disease and illness is preventable through diet and lifestyle. And I feel like I want to make sure that we leave something on this planet for our children. I have these conversations with my kids. I'm very, very passionate about sustainability and leaving something for our next generation. And I was talking to my son, and he said, "Mom, what's the point? What's the point of me getting older if there's going to be no earth left? There's going to be no more nutrients. The water's going to be limited. Our soil's depleted. And what about our oxygen status?" And I said, "You know what, Drew, I hear you and I'm working on it, but we need more voices." And that's what fires me up every day, to get out there and talk to people and say, "Listen, we need to come together. We need to share this education. People deserve to be healthy and off their meds with side effects and live their life with vitality. And we have an obligation to our children to leave this earth in a better place than we found it." And unfortunately, right now, it's not that way, but we have this incredible opportunity to make a difference and an impact. And I found my place here in the community. There is nothing like it. Those answers that I was looking for when I found the brochure and my son overdosed, I found the answers. Health, wealth, everything is here rolled up in one. I found my financial independence back. And I will say, my daughter just committed to a Division I college for her equestrian career that took off. And I supported her, and she watched her mom work on something so that I could provide something for her. And there's nothing like empowering yourself. If someone's going to say, "No, you can't do this," and saying, "You know what, I'm going to find a way to get this done," it means that much to me. So just being that example was huge. This company, giving back philanthropy wise, there's nothing like it. And the sustainability piece just hits home with me. And I will forever share this with everyone I come in contact with, because I think people deserve to know the business is just as amazing as the product. They go hand in hand. And what opportunity out there is there to be able to have time, freedom, flexibility, full corporate benefits, which is what I have now. I was really excited to get those benefits so that now I can retire my husband early, since he's been traveling for 25 years. So that's really exciting for my family. And we've all come together and love this company. It's a family effort. And my daughter's turning 18 next month. And for her birthday, she's going to get a Juice Plus franchise. So she's really excited about that too. She said, "Mom, I want your lifestyle." And it's much better than sitting in the commute and wondering, about that glass ceiling. There is none here. And you can really live the life of your dreams, and you can have the health that you need to do so. So thank you for letting me share tonight. I appreciate it. And I'm just really proud to be part of this with all of you.
You're supposed to be good.
Andrea, thank you so much. That's an amazing story that I've heard before, but there were parts of it I didn't know. So I always love how there's more stuff to hear and to learn. I love how you found out about Juice Plus. I didn't know that part of your story, and I love it. So I love your drive in terms of, having the impact that you want to have. And I'm with you. I think it's an amazing mission that we're on. So thank you. So I will share my story, which, and I'll keep it brief, but there are so many parts to everyone's story that I can relate to. I don't have children. That's the one thing that I don't have in common, but I always had big dreams. I always felt like I was meant for more. And I just had a hard time finding the right avenue for that. And I was always in a field or a job where I was helping people. I started out as an elementary school teacher. I became a full-time yoga teacher and energy healer. And I was commuting into Boston to do that because that was the only place you could really do that kind of work and make a living. And yet I was broke and lonely. I was doing everything myself, and in terms of my business, I was wearing all of the hats. I was exhausted. I'm very empathic, so I was recognizing somewhere along the line that this was not a sustainable living for me, because I was too sensitive to everybody's energy that I was in contact with all day long, and was earning dollars for hours. So I had no sense of a financial future. And then I got divorced, which made that future look even more bleak for me. So I knew that I wanted freedom above all else, and that I wanted time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, but I still wanted to be doing something meaningful. I desperately needed community. I needed people to connect with that were of like mind, and the energy to actually get together with those people. And I needed work that was just lighter and easier in terms of my empathic tendencies, and something that I could still feel like I was having an impact and helping people, but not being depleted by that work. And what I've come to realize through this business is that we can actually impact so many more people than we can one at a time. As you build a team, you can impact hundreds and thousands of people and families. And I just love knowing that, love that feeling, and seeing those numbers grow every month in terms of how many people my team and I are impacting. And so not only do I feel better physically and mentally and emotionally from the products themselves, but I feel so good about recommending them to others, and also helping people that want to create a life like mine and design a lifestyle that really suits them and their families, instead of one that suits their boss and their boss's family. So, there was a time when I considered working at Starbucks because I didn't know what other options I had. So thank goodness I found Juice Plus and joined. And I will say that the first time I heard about Juice Plus, I'm sad to say that I was too cool for it. It was 3 years before I actually started the business, and I was still very attached to my reputation as a yoga teacher, as a healer. And, like Julie said, I couldn't imagine selling something, and couldn't risk my reputation on a product. And, just, I had a different kind of identity, and it was just too cool for that. And when I came back to it, I realized at that point that I needed to get over myself, and that there was a bigger world out there that needed our help, and it had nothing to do with me or my ego or my identity. And I needed to, realize that I needed this as much as everybody else did. And so I'm just so grateful to have found this amazing community of like-minded people, and to be able to do this on a regular basis and hang out virtually and in person, and connect and bond with so many just what I call high vibe people. They just, they get it. They want to help people, and they're always working to raise their consciousness, which is something that I'm very passionate about. So we so appreciate you all being on the call tonight. We're sorry for going a little bit over, but the stories are, always such a treat to hear. And thank you to all the speakers tonight. And we did record it, so for those that did not get on, we can share the recording, and hopefully they'll get a chance to listen to it. But for those of you who are our guests tonight, if there's anything that you heard that resonates with you, that had an impact on you, and you want to know more, you want to learn more, please just connect with the person who invited you and ask questions, and have that heart-to-heart conversation about what the possibilities are. There's never any pressure to do this, but we want you to know what the possibilities are and what the potential is, so that you can make the best decision for you. And it's all about timing. And we would love to have you join our mission and get more boots on the ground to make more of an impact. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thanks everyone for being on, and thanks for the chat. I see some nice comments down there, and I hope everybody has a great night, a great start to the school year if you've got kiddos, or if you're in school yourself, or if you're a teacher. And I look forward to seeing you all soon.